Risa and Kevin from Hudson Valley Vintage, and it's date night. Wednesday night, we're always here with you at 7:30 on Paint Couture's Facebook page. Tonight we are back working on our Suitcase Dresser.
60-part series.
The 60-part series. We've been doing...
It really hasn't gone on that long. We're just like
it
making
hasn't gone on that long. So we kind of made a commitment to our customers that we were going to do this whole thing live. That's one part of it. We're also doing the whole thing with Paint Couture products. So this is an antique waterfall dresser. I'll tell you what we've done so far. So this is Shale Stone on top and on the side.
Yeah, this is an old waterfall dresser, if you haven't seen.
Waterfall dresser. Yep. The second drawer, which we're done, the second drawer is completely done. We painted it with Sophia. The stripes are in Russian red. And I did some edging over here, like some aging with Shale Stone again. And then I used weathered wood glaze. And I feel like I am a waiter giving the dinner specials, just saying. Drawer number 2 is painted in...
Or, what is it? No, not... Let's make a deal. What's behind drawer number 2?
Yeah, drawer number 2 is painted in Italian ivory with midnight blue. And it's funny, this is midnight blue as well, but because I did it much lighter, it came lighter. Notice I also did, I used a Sharpie to make it look like these are actual drawers and that's an opening. The third one is modern rattan. The stencil is in Baltic Black, and this is a redesign with Prima transfer called Ephemera Collector. And then the bottom one is Guac and Roll from CC Restyle Remix Collection. And this is Polynesian Pink, but I mixed in a teeny bit of Baltic Black to give it like an ombre look. So tonight what we're doing is doing the final touches of aging. Now we have hardware for every drawer. It's different for each drawer, and hopefully we'll get a chance to put it on tonight. If not, I'll post pictures tomorrow. All right, I'm gonna start on this drawer now. And I'm gonna use grounded. I wanna make this look not so crisp.
Dirty.
A little dirty, a little grungy.
A little worn.
And then I'm gonna use light brown sugar to glaze it. And we're doing something different on every drawer, so it's fun. So let's get started. I'm only gonna use a teeny bit, sort of like a dry brush. So I wanna have a cloth handy. Also handy when you get it all over your fingers. Okay. I am using my Blue Ice 1-inch oval brush. And I am just going to put the littlest bit on my brush, maybe a little bit more. And I'm going to go ahead and dab most of it off on my towel. And I'm just going to put a little bit of this on the edges. Now I want to be really careful not to mimic exactly what I did up here, because I don't want it to look too uniform. That's something I always try to be careful about when I'm distressing or dry brushing or, you know, whatever I'm doing. I don't want it to look like it was manufactured like by a machine or something like that. So yeah, I want to just, I'm going for the edges, but I want everything to look a little dirty. I mean, who has a clean suitcase? Oh boy. Okay. So now I'm going to get my glaze, and I'm going to use light brown sugar.
Delicious.
Delicious. Now, Paint Couture's glaze, if you don't know already...
Well, what stencil? So what stencil was that? The midnight blue stencil?
This stencil, this is a stencil from a company called Margaritaville. They're out of Canada. And it's a houndstooth.
Houndstooth.
Yeah. I am going to just apply this glaze. I am not going to apply it very thick because this is a pretty light color. And I'm not really worried about my brush strokes, or I don't care about being even. All of the things that you think about when you're painting, you don't have to think about that stuff when you're glazing, unless you're doing it for a specific purpose other than aging. And I want to particularly make sure I get into these. I have like a little mark, or a little gouge here. As I said, they're water-based, so what I like to do is use a t-shirt, because then I can throw it in the washing machine. You can wipe back as much or as little as you want. And you know what you want to make sure you do is, as you wipe it back, go to a clean part of your cloth, because at some point you're just wiping the glaze back on. You're not really taking anything off. All right, so this drawer is meant to look like it's an old trunk. It's painted in modern rattan, and this is Baltic Black, and I'm gonna make this look like leather. So first I'm gonna use the Shale Stone. And I'm going to do sort of what I did over here on my first drawer, which we did earlier. I'm going to use again my, I have a clean blue ice brush. Just put a little bit in. And I have very little paint on here, but I'm still going to dab it off because I don't want to have a lot of paint on here. I'm actually gonna do a little bit more than I did earlier. Because this piece we really want to
Leather gets old and really absorbs a lot.
Okay. So I have my amber honey glaze. And for this I'm using a stencil brush, which I don't always use for glaze, but it works really well for this part. So I'm just going to start putting it on. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take my towel. This is just a regular, you get these in any hardware store, they sell them by the bag, or take a towel out of your linen closet and cut it up, right?
Or if your neighbor has a clothesline and you see them with towels on it, you know,
Yeah.
wait for them to go to the grocery store and go
Absolutely.
grab a towel.
Absolutely. Especially if you don't like them.
Well, no, let's not go that far.
No. So now I'm going to take, I have it almost like a ball, and I'm just going to dab this. Okay, so now I'm gonna move on. How does that look?
Mm-hmm.
Does it look good? Let me just, I just want to move back a little bit and see. Oh yeah, that looks good. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the next spot. Not using a terribly large amount of paint. And the reason I'm using a stencil brush is not because I need to dab it, but I feel like I can get it.
You can spread it evenly.
Yeah. Now I do have a couple of brush strokes in here, but I kind of don't mind it.
Yeah, no, that's not bad.
Because I feel like with old leather, it gets scratched.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of looks like there's scratches in the leather. Now I'm not going to do that patterning over here because this is presumably a sticker that was added later by a cruise line or whatever. So you want to just keep dabbing. You don't want to be like dabbing and moving your, you don't want to be rubbing or anything because you're not going to get the same look. Okay. There we go. You want to put the hardware on this one?
Okay.
Okay, there you go. Doesn't that look great? I love it. Okay, so there we go. I love this drawer so much. Doesn't that look great, guys? I love it. So if you ever want to get a leather look with Paint Couture, now you know how to do it. Easy peasy. All right, so my bottom drawer, it's funny that this bottom drawer I probably have struggled with more than the others, and I'm not sure why. So I think I'm gonna use some, what did I do with it? Okay, I'm gonna use some silver, if I can find it, antique silver. And I'm going to do some dry brushing with that.
I love the top drawer. The top drawer with those dirty little corners looks great. It actually makes it look like it's an oval suitcase with those darker corners.
Yeah.
It really is pretty neat.
Yeah, I love this one's my favorite. What's your favorite? Guys, tell us which one is your favorite. Which drawer is your favorite?
Well, you're not done with the bottom one yet, so it's unfair to ask.
I'm assuming it's not going to be this one.
Well, don't
All right. I
don't
know.
sell it short.
Okay. All right. Now, I'm using a metallic, so I always like to shake it and stir it because Paint Couture's metallics are so highly pigmented that you just have to. So, I'm just going to put a little bit on my brush and I'm going to dab most of it off. So I'm gonna do some weathered wood on this one as well. I think it'll look nice. Before I do this, I like the antique silver, and I just want to put a little bit more. I kind of like how it's like a little schmutzy there. Alright, so now I'm going to take my weathered wood. Alright, so we did a little bit of a more, you know, basic kind of glaze over here where we, you know, brushed it on and wiped it back. Here we did it very differently because we wanted a leather look. So here I'm going to do a little bit more of a traditional. All right, let's switch places.
Okay.
So guys, is that not fun or what? Isn't that fun? I like it now. I like the bottom drawer because now it's, you know, it was just too crisp and too bright for me. But now that
That's a fun dresser.
it is really fun.
Yeah, and so for anybody who wants to try this, this really didn't, we joke, you know, 70-part series, but it wasn't.
No.
You know, this is, you know, and all of the hardware we put on tonight,
Yep.
all of the, you know, all of the kind of the shade changing and the leather and
Yeah, we
everything,
did
that
all
was
that
all done
tonight.
tonight. So
Yeah.
this is not a long
It
process.
was not a long process.
No, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. So thanks so much, guys. Have a wonderful evening, and we will see you next Wednesday at 7:30 for date night. Take care, everybody.